I react to what I see and what inspires me on a day-to-day basis. So I live in the city, so I see a lot of cityscapes. I see power lines, I see buildings, I see streets, and I tend to paint things that people may not always think of as being subject matter for a painting, like power lines and telephone poles and transformers, just everyday things, but to me they have a really strong abstract shape to them, and people react to them when they see them. They're almost apologetic that they somehow like this painting of a power line. They just never thought that they would like something like that, and I really like when people react. So the power line painting like this just really you can see in the sketchbook on that small scale just how it's really a doodle, but I can see the interesting shapes and forms in an abstract way, and I'll crop it different ways and see what I like. I think it's the fact that the artist has seen something and then you can relate to it. There was a quote, art gives you something that you didn't know that you needed. So that's sort of my approach to the everyday objects, that it's just stopping and spending the time to look at something and appreciate just the interesting abstract shapes in it. I think there's nothing more satisfying than me doing what I want to do and painting a painting because I want to paint it, and then having somebody else appreciate that painting too. I think it's a very rewarding thing. Each painting in a way is still a big struggle. I don't really see a finished painting when I start one. I have an idea, I have an inspiration, but there's a lot of painting and then scraping away and painting over, and some paintings end up in the trash bin. Some of them I get sick of and will turn to the wall for a couple months and let them dry, and then I'll go back to them and I'll see something that I'll see that initial spark, or I'll see something that'll kind of get me going in another direction, and I'll work on them again. There was one recent example. It was a figure painting. It was a nude, and I could not resolve it. I couldn't get it to work out, and I let it dry and turned it another direction and looked at it and saw some sort of a landscape in there, and turned that painting into a landscape. And I ended up telling the person who bought the painting that, if you look at it, you can still kind of see where that figure was. Like this hill over here was an arm or something, but I've turned it into something else. But then you get these colors that happen that I never could have planned. So accidental things, and that's really what happens in a lot of my paintings. There's constantly ideas going on in my head, and I'm never short of ideas. I always want to get going on the next painting before I'm done with one painting, so I never find myself sitting there with a blank canvas and nothing to do. That's the least of my problems. I work on usually 5 or 6 paintings at a time, and as I'm working on those, I'm thinking of other paintings that I want to get going on in the future. So, when I sell a painting, I like that somebody who appreciates it is buying it, but there's a part of me that I might not ever see that painting again, which is kind of an interesting thing. But that keeps me moving on to the next painting. The fact that I have to say goodbye to some of the paintings means that I've got another blank canvas that I have to start painting on, which is a good thing.